Why are you here? Are you just here again? Are you just here?
Okay. If I tell you that I love your last presentation, which means I picked something.
What did you pick?
A lot.
Like?
Guys, come on, don't laugh.
Like?
It was, first it was public speaking. So
You picked public speaking?
No.
Who was here? Did I share about public speaking?
Again, okay, it's like this. It's not because, okay, let me say, if we are in a school, we are learning biology. Not all of us that will pick the lesson, just biology. Maybe I can copy your skills, the way you are presenting. So
You learned public speaking?
Yeah.
Please come up here. Stand and face them. And you have 30 minutes to speak to them. You learned public speaking, right?
What can I speak to them?
Anything.
How are you guys? Okay, I'm Shafi. Can I know your names?
You still with them? Why are you not?
No, you say speaking. You didn't tell me what I can tell them. So this is part of the plan. Okay, you can take on.
Hey, you learned public speaking. Public speaking is a whole. You can see me do things here, and I think with my session with the coaches, I try to explain why I do the things that I do when I do them, and you get to realize that you have to. It's more than just getting up and speaking. There is so much that goes into it, but that's not why I'm here. So, without any further ado, I was invited here to come and make you play Amina Amina. So, thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure having all of you here. It's always a pleasure. Yeah. So, thank you. Why aren't you clapping? No. I was invited here this time. I wanted to come 2 times, but the end of the year is a bit. It's so packed up with trainings, but I had to find time because I care about you guys. Yeah. Though very few of you write back to me and ask for something or ask me how I am, but I'm pretty good. I still care about you even when you don't write to me. You are looking like. Are you okay? Yeah. You're fine. The entire time I'm speaking, you are avoiding my eyes. Whenever I land my eyes on you, you look at me.
But I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I was invited here to talk to you about. What was it about? No, it was about giving feedback and also giving and taking feedback, but also motivating yourself to fit within the SINA culture. How many of you are scholars that came on, when was it? A few months ago? September. If you came in and you're a scholar and you came in September, you're not sure. September this year, not last year, this year. How many came in September this year? Like your scholar just coming in. Okay. There should be more than that, yeah. How many are old scholars? The coaches, I know you. How many won't answer whatever I ask? That's it. That's a no. Okay, wherever you are, whether you're an old scholar or you're a coach or you are an instructor, you're a mentor, I think there's something that you can learn. And today, I was invited to talk about how you can motivate yourself to fit within the SINA culture. And though I'm going to deliver what I was asked to deliver, I want to use a different approach, an approach that is a little bit different from what we are used to, somewhat out of the box approach, and I want to share my life and where I come from. Today, at this point in my life, I get to meet top CEOs from all over Africa and do different trainings. Just last weekend, I was with the marketing team of Vodafone, and 2 weeks from now, a week from now, I'll be in Dar es Salaam with Superdol. You know, Superdol is a very, very, very big brand. They do all these trailers that you see. They construct all those bodies of trailers that you see, use these roads, and they're involved in Kagera Sugar. They're like Kagera Sugar that side. They sell lots of tires, they do lots of things. So it's a huge brand. And then later, I'll come back and I'll have a training with the top management of Airtel. Now, I don't tell you all this to impress you, but to impress upon you that where I am right now, you can be that person that is there. But, you know, it hasn't always been like that. I remember life has a way of taking turns. You know, taking turns that you don't expect. And I remember as a young boy, I was 10 years old, and together with my kid brother, we had a business. 10 years old, and we had a business. And that business was to cut grass, i.e., how many of you know how to cut grass? You know how to cut grass? You guys don't know. Which people are involved in the agricultural products now? I mean agricultural projects. You don't know how to cut grass? You cut grass? Yes. Okay. So I had a business, and that business was about cutting grass. Now, where I was staying in where Petrol stayed in Kampala. My family moved from Dar es Salaam to Mombasa, from Mombasa to Eldoret, from Eldoret to Nairobi, from Nairobi to Jinja. And while we were staying in Jinja, that's when I was a young boy, and was staying in a middle-class suburb, and later moved to an upper-class suburb where you had some rich guys stay. And I don't know how it happened. You know, I was there, and all of a sudden there was an opportunity, you know. And I said, you know, why don't we cut grass and make some money? And to cut the long story short, our neighbor, I remember our neighbor was a gigantic man. He was gigantic, like, he's big. Have you met giants? Like, they are very rare in Uganda. Geoffrey. Geoffrey can be a giant. So this guy was huge, and so then at a young age I figured out, and I've always been passionate, and I've always been bold. So I figured out, if I get in front of this guy, he's our neighbor, so he's going to give us the business. So I get in, and he comes out, and he had an accent. He's like, "How are you?" I'm saying, "I'm fine. I'm fine, sir. How can I help you, sir? We are your neighbors, and I came to ask for an opportunity to cut the grass." Now I was like this, yeah, and the guy is like up there, yeah. So we've come to ask for an opportunity to cut your grass. No. Union kids, child labor. I tell him, no, sir. You know what? We'll do you proud. We'll cut your grass. We'll do everything just fine. So why don't you trust us with the business? And so that was very frustrating. And then I go away. Then I come back. After like 2 days, I come back, and you keep on going, and you keep on going. And for those of you that have finished projects, you know that sometimes what we learn here, you might be so excited about a project, Yeah, and you're doing it, and you know, you have your interlocking bricks. There are lots of people that do interlocking bricks. So you might come out with a project, and you're so excited about your project, and you go out. The first person says no, thank you. The second person says no, thank you. The third person says no, thank you. The fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So what do you do along the way? And what I did along the way was I kept on changing approaches. You know what I did? I went back home, and my mom had just received these. There were these medals. I don't know where she got them. They were like bronze medals. The medals they give athletes, yeah, when they win. And I mean, they were very unique. And then I had a shirt, a flowered shirt, but not like that. It was better than that. So, but I had this shirt, so I put on the shirt, then I put on the medal, and I go back. Guess what? Guess what? This guy still turns me away. Then I go back. Then I come back the third time, and then he was hard to crack. And then he turns me away the third time. Then I go back the fourth time. Now, if you know something in life, you know that people buy because of emotions, and they justify it with reasoning. We all buy because of emotions. Ladies, how many of you are here? Like, how many of you? Okay, even gentlemen, how many of you have bought yourself at least a pair of shoes in the recent past? Okay, the recent past might mean a year. Okay, at least a pair of slippers. Yeah? How many of you have bought one? Slippers. But you don't need emotions to buy slippers. That's why I never wanted to use the example. But you know that people buy because of emotions, and they justify it with reasoning. So, at that point I didn't know that, but later I got to know that what I used back then was something like that. So, I go to the guy and I tell him, sir, when you hire us, and it's, you know how some wise parents can be, they tell you go and tell him that part of the money that you're getting is going to be part of your school fees. That wasn't right. But I go and tell this man, you know, sir, part of the money that we're going to get is for our school fees. Guess what he did? So he hires us, and you know, the next day in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, we are up. You know, everyone is going to work. We were off with the lawn mowers, and we're going to cut grass. And to cut the long story short, you know, we ended up. He was our first customer. It was very hard to crack, but we cracked him, and we did a good job. And you have to know that, you know, how you do one thing determines how you do everything. So we do this one job, and that one job gives us so many other jobs, and we ended up being the people that cut grass around the neighborhood. And when we were young, we used to make around 25,000 shillings. Now, we were three, but 25,000 shillings was a lot of money, yeah? But it taught me something, and that's something that I want to talk to you about, and probably by the end of today, by the end of this session, I want you to think about yourself and think about your life. Not, you know, when we come here as a group, some of you might say things and you might be so excited, but how many of you know that when you go back and the lights are out and your head is on that pillow and you cannot talk to your neighbor, there are certain things that you think about. There are certain things that you think about. There are those insecurities that you face. And it's whether you overcome those insecurities or not that determine how far you can go in life. So, I'd like to sell to you a system that will keep you inspired so that you can follow through and get to your dream. Yeah? That's my whole purpose for the next couple of minutes. That's what I want to talk to you about. Now, last week, I was doing a team building retreat with the marketing department of Vodafone. Vodafone has been here. How many of you have seen Vodafone around? Vodafone, it's a mobile network. Yeah, they've been around for about 1.5 years, and they need to do certain things and expand. And I hope they come to Mpiji. that I can call some of you. So I'm with the team, and as we're going in the bus, everyone was excited. You know how you guys came in here and you're all excited and everything, and you say hi, hey. And so they were all excited, and we go in and in the bus we're playing games and everything. Then we enter Mavera Forest. That's where we're going, and there was this. You heard of something called a zip line? How many have gone for that zip line? The place is called Griffin Falls Camp. It's you get to Lugazi. Then when you get to Lugazi, you enter the plantation. Then you go past the plantation. Then you enter Mavera Forest. Then you go deep down Mavera Forest, like 10 kilometers inside there. But then there's a lie that has been told that that whole forest was cut. No, that the forest is still there. So you're in the middle of the forest, and then there are trees that are 14 meters, and there are trees that are up to 42 meters. So they put a line. There's one tree here, and there's another tree here, and they put a line. Then there's another tree there. Then, there are like 6 trees. So they put a line. It's so up in the sky. And when you get there, you're dressed, and you know the first thing that you do? You first sign a waiver and say, if I die, now I'm just paraphrasing, but you say, if I die or I get injured, it's entirely my responsibility. So we go up, and these guys were excited. There was a guy on the bus, yeah, he was this guy who would talk and say, you know what, me, I've been a scout, I've gone through Kazi, and I can do these things, just climbing a tree. So we get there, and the first tree was really high. It was higher than that. So I remember very interesting. We're there, and when you stand there and you know that now the moment of truth has come out. For those of you that have finished your projects, you know how you feel when the project is coming to an end. No more free food, no more free lighting. You come here, they bring you a snack, everything is just provided. You know that time is coming to an end. So we're there, and there's this lady, she said, you guys, let's first pray. And everyone bows their heads like this. And there was a guy that was standing near me, and he was taking a selfie. He was taking a selfie, and you tell his hand was shaking just like that, yeah? I'm exaggerating, but his hand was shaking, and as it's shaking, he records a video and he says, Mom, I love you, I may not come back. So the first guy comes, they brief you, they tie you, and they tell you now, once you get up there, just make sure that you relax, yeah? Make sure that you relax, because when you relax, that's the only way you can go across. But if you feel like puking, please, I think, stay down. And also the other thing, we advise you to go for a short call, because once you get there, it's extremely tense. And once you get there, you cannot come back. So those of you that need to ease yourselves, please go. Now, so I don't know how it happened, but the ladies first go, They go, they ease themselves, so the first guy climbs up. There are always those people in the group, yeah? They like to go fast, and the guy climbs up, and he inspires the group, and he's tied, and he goes across the zip line. The first tree, he's on the other side. So there was this lady down who had led the prayer, and she says, you know what, I can go across. Why not? She gets up. So she climbs up, then she got like midway, like 10 meters up. Then she looks down like this. The moment she looked down like this, she started saying, I want to come down. So everyone is saying, no, come on, go, you can make it. Come on, go, you can make it. Come on, go, you can make it. And sometimes you have to realize in life that sometimes you're going to be motivated, but until you own the motivation, it will never work for you. So that lady is up there, and she looks down. Guys are going like, no, come on, go, come on, go. And she's like, no, I cannot go. No, you guys have to come down. I want to susu. But you just went and susu like before you went up. No, I want to susu. No, you guys, I'm feeling something in my heart. And so she you know, people try to motivate her, we motivate her, things fail, and she calms down. Now, she calms down, and we're asking her, you know what? No, go back. She's like, no, you guys go back, you guys go back, you guys go back. And that is going to be my point, because the first point that you have to note is that until you own the motivation, it is never going to work for you. You might be here as a group, you might be a new scholar, you might be an old scholar, or whatever your capacity is, yeah? And this is an excellent environment for you to come and learn something, for you to come and practice something, but you have to own the motivation. It has to be about you. When we began, I asked you the question, why are you here? Think about that. And that's the genesis of motivation. You have to have a strong why. Why are you here? You know, you don't need to tell me, but ask yourself, why are you here? I mean, why do you even care to go through a full year where you're on top of a very cold hill? This is a very cold hill, by the way. It reminds me of the schools I went to on the top of hill. Why do you care to come here and even put in the work? Why do you care? Yeah. Why? What's that? That's why for you. Yeah. And you know, I've worked with so many people, and as I look over my life, there are different things that have helped me along the way, and there are different things that I've shared over the 9 years that I've done this, and those are the things that I want to share with you. Now, if you're going to stay motivated, if you're going to stay inspired, by the way, you know the difference between motivation and inspiration? Do you guys know the difference? Motivation, and I hate it when I'm called a motivational speaker. Reason being, motivation wears off after a while. You come and you feel good and you're pumped and you play amina, then you go back and you drift back into your normal situation. You just start going down and down and down and down. That's motivation. It's a high. It's like taking Red Bull and then Red Bull wears off. That's motivation. It's quick. But inspiration is what will keep you going when you face adversity. Inspiration is what will keep you going when you go and you've come out with a product and you're extremely excited about your project. You go the first time, the first person says, no sir, thank you. You go the second time, the second person says, no thank you. You go third, fourth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. That is inspiration, and that's what I want to sell to you, because motivation will wear off after a while, but inspiration will stay. Inspiration stays all the time, every time. Yeah? You know the guy who invented the bulb? How many times he had to do that? How many times? Now, when you read about him, they will tell you there's a time that he was with a couple of friends, and then I think he was close to his breakthrough. So they're in the lab and they're working out these things, and then there was a major explosion. It wasn't as big, but it was an explosion that at least everyone got a bit of dust on their face. And so his friends are thinking, I mean, this guy has to be crazy. Why do you care to go through all this all the time? And he tells them, you know what? At least I just found out something. I think this explosion can be used to work on something else. So but he knew that he had to press. But at that point, he had a choice whether to quit or not to quit, because he had done it for so long. Yeah. If there is anything that has kept me motivated and anything that has kept me going, and before I share that, I remember I just started life coaching, and things were not fine. Yeah. Today I go and I sleep in 5-star hotels, and I'm flown all over, and I do all these things, and these things are nice. These things are nice, yeah? But I didn't begin like this. remember when I was just getting started, there's a guy out there, he's in America, I think Etienne, you know him, he's called John Maxwell. So, John Maxwell, this guy speaks to 2,000 people, he's spoken to Delta Airlines, he's spoken to, name them, all the big companies, McDonald's. And I began watching him on YouTube, and I'm saying, you know what, I want to be like this guy, I really want to be like this guy. And then one time I'm on his website, and there's a conference that was going to air, but it was from Georgia. But you could subscribe with how much was it? Around $2,000, and then you broadcast it here and get some money off it. So I was like, you know what? This is. I looked at the people in the market. They were not exactly life coaches like I was, but they were already established in the market and they were getting higher fees. So I told myself, you know what? I'm getting into this. But the way my background is that I did my degree in accounting, then I finished accounting, then I did my postgraduate in marketing and sales, then I did international business, then I did neuro-linguistic programming. So I'd really done so much, but I needed to find that thing that really clicks for me, that thing that really works for me. And this is what I love. This is what I do. To me, this is not work. I'll do it anytime, anywhere. So anyway, I'm doing all this. I'm doing all this, and I subscribe. I get the $2,000 now. Getting the $2,000 to subscribe for a John Maxwell simulcast was not easy, because at that point, I think I was earning around 500,000. I was working for a company that was called Leather Industries Uganda, and I was earning around 500,000. So you have 500,000, you need to raise $2,000. And everything that I'm going through, this is not just mambo jumbo. I know what it means to be rejected. I know what it means to go to 23 banks, and they're all thinking you are a bunch of excited, crappy youth that is just excited about, just starting something that is not going to work out. So, and that's, out there it's crazy, it is tough, it's extremely tough, yeah? So I go out and, the banks rejected, they said, you know what, yeah, you're an ambitious young man. And I know some of you have received this, yeah, where do you go, sinner? Yeah, you're ambitious, interlocking bricks, the guys who build with, bottles? Yeah, interesting, but yeah, I think that's nice. We don't know how it's going to work. You've for those of you that have finished, you know what it means. Yeah, you go out and you're excited, and then they pour out on you, literally. So I go out and I'm excited about this idea, and I had to raise money within I had to raise the $2,000 within 3 months. So I go to everyone. I went to my mom, and my mom told me, you know what? Right now I'm building. I cannot give you that money. But you know where she gives you this look of, will I get my money back? Is this viable? Yeah, extremely risky. And there's a lesson in there that I kept on going 3 months. I kept on going 3 months until I raised the money. But when I get time, I can share what happened all through that. But I want you to know that when you are determined, you always find a way. When you are determined, you always find a way. So I'm going through this. I went through that part of my career, and I think I lost lots of money. I should have lost around $5,000 Now, that was huge money back then. So now I have people that I borrowed money from, and I needed to pay. But I needed to pay, and meanwhile I don't have a job. I quit my job because I was working so hard on this thing. And then the first client, I think I charged him like $200, of which $200 he never paid. And then I could no longer stay in the apartment where I was staying because I could no longer pay the rent, and I had to move back home. And for guys, that feel, that there's that feeling that you have when to your parents' house and you thought you're out. Yeah, you're back and you're feeling like, no, I don't belong here. I need to get out of here. Yeah. So while I was back to my parents' house, I'm thinking, okay, now this career, and you know they're telling you, no. You know what? You've gone to school. You can't go anywhere and get a job. But something kept me going, and that something is the O here, which stands for if you're going to stay inspired. If you're going to stay inspired in life for a long time and get through your dreams, if you're going to be that person that cuts through all adversity, number one, you need to have you need to know what you want. What do you want? I want you to take like 30 seconds and write what you want. What you want from your time with Sina. What do you want? If you look at yourself after this time that you're with Sina, and you know you're leaving the hill and you're walking out of here, what would you want to have achieved? Take some time and write out that. Take some time and write out that. What would you want to have achieved come the end? What will be your outcome? Have you written that? No. Don't write 3 paragraphs. There shouldn't be that many. Okay, the 30 seconds are up. Have you written that? Who wants to share with us? I'm just going to pick on you. You have no choice. Why did you just write? Please share with us. Pardon?
I didn't write.
Why did you write?
I have them in my head.
Okay. Who else never wrote because they have it in their heads? Do you have is one of your papers here?
Yeah.
Please come and show me. Have you all written? You can go and take this in. Do you know why we write things? Why do we write things, by the way? Did you like the video? And did you get the reason why we write things? What's the reason?
We write things to, to keep memorizing what we are going to be.
To keep?
Yes.
I think you would love to. You would want to write. Please take some time and write. I'll get back to you. So who has finished writing? Okay, share with us. Share with us.
Okay. What I expect to come out when I'm from Sima will be graduating with a job in my passion area, which I'm passionate about.
Very passionate about.
That is being an inspirational teacher.
Being an inspirational teacher.
Yes.
Okay. A job? You want a job? Out of that?
Yes.
Were you here the first time I was there? How come I've never heard from you? And I'm an inspirational teacher. You guess? You realize I'm looking at your face and like, come on, like you have the milk, but you don't want to take it. But you understand? And you know what? Guess what? I can come here and excite you and leave you without you getting anything. But the reason I'm a bit hard on you, and the reason I go hard on you is because I care about you. I don't want you to take 7 years wanting to be an inspirational teacher. Yet you have an inspirational teacher that you are not consulting after they give you, access to them, and you understand? Okay. Who else? What's your outcome?
Consider one of the expectations that to be a role model who will make the difference in people's lives, that is transforming people's lives, especially the marginalized ones, so they can also make their ends meet in programs delivery, and that is motivation and guiding them in various aspects, irrespective to their interest.
Wow. Okay. Someone else? Let's get like 2 or 3. Yeah?
Successful business with a function. A successful business with a function.
With a function. Can you put that in simple English? With a function, like which function? Have a functioning business. Functioning. Define functioning. Making how much money? No, it's not guesswork, it's defining your outcome. How many of you have written outcomes? Excuse me, what's your outcome?
So we want to have a big project in that, like, others are going us to go and market. Like, market base there. Someone comes and tells you, they told me you make good shoes, so can you make for me? And what our please.
Okay. Okay. So have we all written our outcomes? What is your outcome? You knew I would come back, yes? Roland.
Praise God.
An idea?
Yes.
By
Standing business.
studying business. What do you mean by studying business?
Standing is an English word. It's a business which can be seen, you cannot say an idea. So I'm looking at, transforming an idea into a business.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. You're a little bit cold. Stand up. Let's stand up. From what I've shared so far, if you need to stay inspired for a long haul and make it through the adversity, what's the number one thing that you need? You need to be very, very clear. Now, some of you say, I need to have a standing business, but clarity is power. By standing, what do you mean? Do you mean a business that makes, because a business can stand in the village and it's making 3,000 shillings a day, and that's the profit. Or a business can stand and it's making 5 million shillings as profit, or it can stand when it's making 20 million shillings. What's that exact thing? And the clarity for me was, I needed to have a business that was regional by the year 2012, i.e. I needed a business that was operating in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Harare is in Zimbabwe, yeah? And next year we're moving to South Africa, we're getting into that market. But I was very clear about that, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because, you're just coming into the market. I remember one time I go and meet one of the prospective clients, and this guy, He welcomes me. He has this Apple iMac thing, and I enter his office, and he's very, he's very polished. He gets out. He's looking at me like you're looking at me there, like analyzing me like this. And then he gives me a bottle of water. And so I begin making my presentation, yeah? I begin making my presentation. I tell him, sir, I know I have the right solution for you because I know where your company is. I know where your company can be. And if you can give me and trust me with this, I know I'll knock this out of the park. And so, he spent some time and, he looked away. Then he looks at me and tells me, you know what? I like your ideas, but you're a young man, and I don't think you're going to do anything. You really don't have the experience. Unless if you're a professor, I would say, you know what? I would say I'll work with you, but I don't think my staff are going to respect you anyway because look at you. Look at you. You're young, yeah. And at that point, I first kept quiet, and I looked at him, and I told him, sir, I appreciate your analysis, but I respectively disagree with what you're saying. Number one, if experience is about how many years I've spent doing what I do, i.e. life coaching, then you have me. But if experience is judged on the projects that I've worked on, then I think you need to have a second look at what I've done, because yes, I appreciate professors are they've gone to school and they spent like 20 years in school and they have a PhD. But how many people here know broke professors? I used to have a professor that used to coach me in maths when I was in S5 and S6, and you'd go to this guy's house and you wonder whether he's a professor or not. Like, he was broke. He wouldn't really inspire me to become a professor. So, and that's the problem. That's the problem. And sometimes, I'm telling you all these things, and sometimes I want to whinge and like shake some of you. You know why I want to shake some of you? Because you still have bad manners. You still have bad manners of the education system that you've gone through. And the education system in Uganda is will always take you from abstract to reality. By abstract, I mean, you find a young kid, very young, and they have a chart, and when they read it, A stands for apple. Now, I know some of you are born around the time that apples were very common, but me, the time I grew up, you would say A for apple, and you would not experience that apple. So, your learning is abstract, it's not clear, it's fuzzy, it's not clear, but so, because it's not clear, what are you forced to do? You're forced to cram. And because you're forced to cram, then you're just cramming to pass an exam, and when they bring A stands for, you put there apple, but you've not experienced the reality of the apple. And then, you come out here and you come in a very creative environment like this one, where you are supposed to first experience something and then take out the fuzzy part that is not clear, and then you freeze. You freeze because most of you have talked about, I want to be an inspirational speaker. I want to be an inspirational speaker. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to move my product from this place to this place. And from the first day I came in here, I've always been telling you my life story and how I began from, scratch and build this thing, and I'm still building it. I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but I'm not where I used to be. And I've been telling you about this, and I left my contacts here, and guess what? I think I hear from 2 or 3 of you. Why? You're not used to experiencing something and then working on it. Yeah? And when you come in a creative environment like this one, you set goals that are not clear because you have residue of where you're coming from. And the job of the coaches and my job is very simple, to get you from being not clear, to get you to experience some of the things. The reason I come here and the reason I labor so much is because I know the effects. You study about, there are professors that taught me business, but they had never started a business. That's how the entire education system is crafted. And then when you're in this setting, you have to experience something. First of all, the environment itself is created because now you have to own up your life. You have to have an outcome, and it better be clear. And the reason you went through all this exercise and the reason you're doing this is not that this all looks very well. No. The reason you're going through this is so that you get some clarity out of your life, so that you know the outcome, so that when you look at this, you know that my life is about getting the experience first. Then when I get that experience, then I'll have to ask myself as a person, how can I grow into that experience? But you need to first experience it here before you can get enough inspiration to grow to be that kind of person. And until you've grown, only then can you contribute. That's why you did this. It's not just an exercise. It's an exercise to make you break away from the system that you have been used to. That system works up to a particular point, but where you are in an innovation academy, you have to be totally inspired to do what you're going to do. And I hope you got a copy of this. I have mine. I look at it every day. And that's why you need to write it. Because, we come from a system where we are taught to memorize, but you know that you're going to go out there, and I'm not going to be interested in your academic qualifications. I'm going to be interested in the projects you've worked on. But the thing that will make you break through is how inspired you are. And that brings me to the second thing that you need if you're going to stay inspired is a purpose. You need a purpose. Purpose is simply, hello? You're extremely late. I don't know what you're going to learn. Purpose is your why, You went through this, and this is what you want to experience. Let me read one of Roland. Experiences. Number 1, own a big football stadium. Own a football club. Host a big, talent show. Yeah? Okay. Become very rich young entrepreneur. The best me in Uganda. Have my children travel around the world. What of your wife? So, now, the reason you write all these things so that the experience starts to be mental, and that's what pushes you, and then you ask yourself a question. Now, for those that never watched the video, I feel like some of you watched the video and you did this exercise. That's why, but I need to go over it again because I've just received some feedback that some of you never took this so serious. So, if you're going to be all these things, number 1, you need to experience them. You need to write them. That's why we write vision. There was I think I shared a study that was done at Harvard and Stanford of 200 MBA students that were told to, they were told, why do you want to be in 10 years? And only 3% of those students, 3% wrote down their goals, and they were clear, I want to do this, I want to do that. And there were some that wrote them, but they were not clear. Those are the people that say, you know what, I want to have a marvelous business. What is marvelous? Define marvelous. And some of them never wrote them. They said, you know what, yeah, I have it in my head. It's enough. I don't need to share it. There's a guy who was who came to work with me. He's a 20-year-old that wants to go back to campus, but he did the job. And then I tell him, you know what, before you get to work with us, the first thing that you need to do is you need to work on this 3 questions exercise. And then we asked him to share, because everyone shares. And then he says, you know what, I wrote very personal things, so I don't feel like sharing. But just like him, I knew that I was dealing with bad manners of the education system, and it's taking us some time to knock that him out. So, if you're going to have those experiences, you need them to be written down. Now, in that research, they found out that the 3% that had written and had very clear goals, that it was done in 1979, and they followed up the 200 students, and they found out that those students in 1989, now this is 10 years later, after they are through with their MBA, that's a Master's in Business Administration, they found out that these students, the 3% that had written their goals down, and they were very, very, very clear, they were earning 10 times more than the students that hadn't written their goals. There's a part of your brain, it's called the reticular activating system. It's at the back here. The reticular activating system, once you give it clarity and you give it purpose, it will always look for the way. There's a saying that have a big enough why so that the universe will find you the how. Find a big enough why so that the universe will find you the how. So, yes, you have a purpose. I mean, you have an outcome. But why? Why do you have that? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to you to have a business? Why is it important for you to have a business that is profitable? Yes. Why is it important for you to have a business that is profitable? Why is it important for you to have a successful life? Why is it important for you to have a successful life? To enjoy the world. Why is it important for you to enjoy the world? Please pay attention, yeah?
Because I feel it would be a normal life to me.
So you feel if you enjoy the world, it could be a normal life to you.
Yes.
Why is it important for you to experience the world that will make the world normal to you? Why is that normal life important to you?
Because I hate poor life.
Why do you hate poor life?
With poor
Why do you hate misery? Pay attention, yeah? We're getting somewhere. This could be one of the most important lessons you take out of this. Why do you hate misery?
Because I want to be always happy.
Why do you always want to be happy? Why is it important for you to feel that you are living?
To see myself growing.
Why is it important for you? Why is it important for you to grow? Pay attention. Why is growth important to you?
With growth in my life, I feel like I'm achieving whatever I want in life.
Okay. So when you make progress, you feel like you are achieving what you're achieving. Why is progress important? Improvement is the same as progress, right? Why is it important to improve? Why is adventure important to you? Stick with me, yeah? Why is adventure important to you? Two? That is adventure. Yes, so you want to experience variety. Okay. Did you see what just happened there? What did you learn from what just happened between our exchange? Something happened there. Something happened there, and that's why I was asking you to pay attention. Yeah, it was more than me just asking questions. Something happened there. One or two things. Who saw it?
There was, in terms of question, why? So, there is, but when you go back, what you have been speaking, there is always said to find the big enough why. So she had also to find that big enough why. I think so.
Did you get the big why for her?
Come on.
From our conversation, did you realize what a big why is? Someone else?
I think in her big why it was that question you need to ask her, why do you want to live in happiness?
Okay, and what is the big why then? Okay, yes. How come it's the same people? The rest of you. Oh, no, wait. Sir in purple, no, pink jacket. What did you get out of that?
I think a big why is all about living in a
Good life. Okay. The reason, I wish that someone had this conversation with me when I was your age. Because for most of us, for most people, you go through life and I I know there are some of you that came and, someone came and told you, you know what, there's this opportunity at Sina, and, you're seated home and you're thinking, okay, do they ask for money? No. Do I qualify? Yes. So let me apply. If they call me, I will go. If they don't call me, I will wait. Yeah? And then you get a call and they have told you, you know what, come for the interviews. Then you'll say, you know what, I might as well just go and do the interviews. Then you come and do the interviews. Then to your surprise, they call you. And you're going back home and you're thinking, okay, you know what, I was just going to sit here home. So it's 1 year, it's a free environment. So let me just go and just be there for that 1 year. If things don't work out, if they don't, either way, after all, they're not asking me for a lot of money, so it's not like I'm going to invest 4 million shillings over the year, or 6 million shillings, or 10 million shillings. So I'm not losing anything. Besides, I'll just be here at home seated. So you go through a lot of accidental success that gets you in a position where you're forced to ask yourself whether you really have a clear outcome. And if you don't have a clear outcome, I can beat around the bush, but I'll tell you for a fact, if you don't have a clear outcome, you are wasting your time. If you don't have a clear outcome, if you just had success, accidental success that led you here, you're wasting your time. But you also need to find a big why. Why? Yes, I have this outcome, but why? What is it leading to? Because that's the contribution part. I shared this with the leaders and I told them that all human beings have 6 basic needs. The first need is the need for certainty. When we're having this conversation, she told me, I hate misery. And when she said, I hate misery, you could see the bottom of her eyes starting to tear. Yeah? And she was getting uncomfortable. I know she was, you probably, this is the first time that you've been asked such tough questions, and her eyes were getting teary. You know why they were getting teary? Because probably there is an experience that relates to misery that has caused her not to experience the first human need, which is a need for certainty. You're all seated on that chair because you have a certain feeling of certainty that when you sit on that chair, it's not going to fall. As human beings, we have the need for what? Certainty. You want to have a stable business so that you can have certainty, so that you get the food when you get it. You want to have things going very fine. You want to get a job. You want to work on this project so that it can give you certainty. But what happens after we get certainty? I'll tell you for a fact, yeah? When you start making money, eventually, you're saying, okay, I want to make this number of millions per month. Then you start making that money, and as soon as you start making that money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you discover, you know what, no, I need to stretch out a little bit. I need to stretch out a little bit. I need to meet another need. So the first need is what? Certainty. The second need is uncertainty. How many of us here like surprises? You like surprises?
If they are good.
You like surprises?
I don't like surprises.
How many don't like surprises? How many want to answer whatever I ask? Okay, again, how many like surprises? This is not an exam question, yeah, guys. How many don't like surprises? Okay. Here's the facts. For those that like surprises, you like the surprises that you want. The surprises you don't want, you call problems. And the third need is the need for significance. Now, I was uncovering these needs as we were having this conversation. And at some point, whenever I reached the needs that were very important to her, you'd either see her tear or her neck would go like this. you would feel like I'm really touching that area. There's the need for significance. We all want to feel important. You know, we all want to feel important. We all want to feel like we are valued. And then the third need is significance. Then the third need is love. We all want to be loved, yeah? You want to have a loving family, you want to take children where? Without your wife. Very
Without the waves.
without the wife. Can you imagine? Ladies, you know,
It's not a man. Without the waves.
and you say that with a lot of passion. Yeah? Sort yourselves out. Yeah? Then, the other need that we have is the need to grow. We have a need for growth. We have a need for growth. That's why, for those of you that say, you know what, I want to learn something new. You want to learn something new so that you can grow, so that you can improve. You talked about improvement, because when you improve, you know you're going somewhere. And growth always will equal to happiness. Show me a person that is not making progress in their life and they are very unhappy. But show me a person that is making progress and they will be happy, because growth always equals happiness. And the other need is the need to contribute. Well, I have a need to contribute. So, you know, you wrote it down here. Already two of these needs were uncovered here. We have a need to contribute, to give back to the people that have been of help to us. So there are those 6 human needs, and when you ask yourself why, there are two, or always out of these, there are always 2 needs that will talk. You know, there are 6. There is, what's the first need? Come on, guys, are you ready? You said bring it on. Are you ready? Bring it on. Okay, stand up. This is how you do it. Okay, now, you're seated, turn to the person seated next to you. Turn to the person seated next to you. Choose. Turn to the person seated next to you and tell them what your 2 top needs are in life. What your 2 top needs are in life. We shared 6, but there are those 2 that are most important for you. So share with them the 2. You have to. But how many have contribution as their first, as their most important need in life? Contribution, yeah. Geoffrey, you.
The one in pencil.
Who else? Your contribution.
Yes.
It's a pleasant surprise, yeah? Okay. How many have love as their first, as their most important? Are you surprised?
No, something you know.
Love, yeah. Who else? Love? Joan. Is anyone who is Joanne's good friend here?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Roland needs a lot of love, so just natural.
Love.
No, but when I came in here, Joanne came and she was so excited to see me, and she greeted me with like that, my long lost friend kind of smile. Yeah, it's natural for such people to give love, and sometimes, especially the guys, you might misunderstand such people if they have the opposite sex. You might think they actually like you so much, and they are just acting very naturally. So when Joanne comes and smiles at you, you accept that. Look at it. Okay, how many had certainty as their topmost need? You want things to, you want to always know things before you even venture out.
She had it.
You?
Yes.
You had it, okay. What are you? What project are you working on? Painting. Okay. Do you have a fixed price for your painting? For your paintings?
Yes, it's fixed for some time then.
Okay. And what do you do? Which project are you working on?
Right now, I've noticed about it, the one of Inspirational Talk.
Inspirational Talk. Why have you developed it?
I was still in the process of creating ideas.
You're looking for ideas. How far with an idea? No, are you okay? Stop there. Do you see that? Do you see that? People that value certainty, sometimes they take so much working on something because they are still looking for ideas, and they need things to be in line before they can start on something. And sometimes this is very important for you coaches, and this is very important for you mentors. You have to understand the kind of person that you are dealing with. Which need do they have as the topmost? Because if I'm dealing with you and I know your need is certainty, I'm not going to change that, but there's a different way I'm going to work with you. I'm going to tell you, hey, look, being an inspirational speaker is quite very important to you, right? Yeah? And how long do you think it takes for an inspirational speaker to start getting the big monies? How long? Have you done some research? No. It takes around 10 years for that person to start making a breakthrough. Now, when they make the breakthrough, so that means that the earlier you start, the better. So, would you want to be the kind of person that you're looking to be in 10 years? So, when you're starting, it's not going to be perfect, but you have to know that you're getting a step closer because you're getting towards what you want to be. What am I doing? I'm using his topmost need to inspire him to get to that place of certainty. Now, if I'm talking to Joanne, I'll change the approach totally. See, Joanne, you love public speaking, don't you? You know that when you speak to people, they will actually be inspired by you, and they will love what you do. And when you're passing over the love always comes back to you. Isn't that exciting? And Hafiz just does what? So it's very important to know the kind of person you're dealing with, because in that way you help them get a big enough why. So you need to have an outcome, but you need a why. Now, let's go to the last one. Time is really running so fast. The last one is you need to take massive action. You need to take massive action. The reason the action has to be massive is because as students of innovation, as scholars of innovation, you know that one of the ground rules of innovation is have as many ideas as possible, because you never know which one is going to work and which one is going to fail. So you need to have a big palette of what you're dealing with, because you never know what the market is going to come out with. Now, you might be working with a very restricted product like what? Interlocking bricks. But I want you to think about, ask yourself questions like, what if you come to me and I'm not interested in interlocking bricks? What other creative idea can you sell to me? Think about that. What other creative idea can you sell to me? Because that's the reason Coca-Cola has so many products, because there's a guy that is not looking for caffeine in a Coca-Cola. There's a kid that just wants to get sugar in his body and get excited. So they create a color around it and, you know, put oranges around it, and then they have that segment in the market. They're asking themselves, okay, how can we change this constantly? They're always, you know, tricking around the logo. They're always working creatively. It's the same thing. You can play around. You can take massive action around one thing and you sell it to so many different people. Guess what? They're selling us a bunch of carbonated drinks and they label them different things, but they're selling us the same thing. What projects are you working on? What projects are you working on? And how many ideas, how many ways can you package that project? How many ways? If you're doing motivational teaching, there are lots of motivational teachers. What is going to make you distinct? Are you about high performance? Are you about innovation? Are you what they call motivational speakers? Though I think motivational speaking died. But are you about motivational speaking? Do you speak to leaders? What makes you different? What makes you different? Is your strength in engaging the crowd or teaching just material? What is it? What is it about your project? How many ways can you package your project? Because now, when I come to you, I might do this in a different way. When the next day you find me before a group of leaders, let's say in Tanzania, I may be totally different because I have to package the same thing in a different way. This is something that I'm not teaching you something that we're not doing. We have a studio in our offices. One of the rooms is a fully fledged video studio where we go and do videos, and we shoot so many videos and we're working on so many products. But sometimes we have to find different names for the same product so that the names are appealing to a particular segment. If I know you're spiritually best, I may use the word inspiration because you're used to inspiration. If I know you're not used to that, I may choose the word motivation because you're used to hearing the word motivation. How many ways can you package? You know, these guys sell us airtime and they have the 500, they have this, they have that. They're being creative, they're being innovative around it. How many ways can you do that? You have to take massive action because you know it's not going to work. Now, it might be in terms of you having a big palette that you're dealing with, but also the other thing that you have to learn is that the things that I've taught you here, the influence, the understanding people's needs, you have to know that if I come to you and I ask for something and it doesn't work, I'll go to the next person, and the next person, I'll seek to find out what their most important needs are. And when you listen to people, you really find these needs. Now, if I spent with each of you 5 minutes, I'll find out your topmost need. The other time, hello, how are you? Good. You're welcome. Thank you for all attending here. And okay, I was the coaches. You know how that works. Yeah? Miro gave me a lift the last time I was here, and I had a chat with him up to the road. And during that time, I found out what Miro's major need is, and if I was to work with him one-on-one, me as his coach, I know exactly which parts to touch. Can I share? Not the conversation, but your name. No. Okay. I'll keep that to myself. But this is very important when I'm speaking to you. When you're going out to sell your product, find out. You know, when people are talking, you're finding out their need. When I was having a chat with you, I found out your exact needs. I've not talked a lot with Joan. I know her exact needs. when I'm having these conversations, and you know, I think certainty is one of the things up there for you, right? You know how I know that? You remember when I asked you to write things, yeah? And you're saying, I have this in my brain. And I'm thinking, you might be one of the people that usually has to write a rough copy before you write a clear copy. You see? You see? Now, when I understand that, and I'm sending him something, I'm sending him my idea, I'm sending him my project, there's a certain way I'm going to deal with him. Number one, I'll have to give you a lot of detail to earn your trust. And after you've looked through the detail, probably you don't make a decision there and then. I'll have to add you more detail and more detail until you reach a point where you say, you know what, this guy knows what he's talking about, then you can make a decision. There are people like that, you have to give them so much detail. And there are some in here. Where is he? Okay. He's not here. Oh. He's not here. There's a guy who asked me, why do you get these things that you teach us? Now, if I was, I could get offended by that, but I knew this person is a certainty person. He wants to know that, you know what, before I take notes, man, you better prove your thing. So, if you're going to stay inspired in life, there are three things I've shared. Number one, you need to have a clear outcome. Know exactly where you're going. And number two, you need to know where you're going there. And number three, you have to take massive action. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'll see you on the other side of success. Any questions? Have I earned your trust enough for you to ask a question? Yes?
The way you phrased to ask a live question, I would love also to tell us one of the best two of your needs. But we don't mind.
The best two. The best two. Yes. For me, who can guess, by the way? Because you guys have spent time with me. Who can not guess, but yes. Yes.
Growth and contribution.
Yeah. Growth and
Contribution.
no, not contribution is not my. It's not in my topic.
Significance.
Now you're mentioning all the other six now. Of course, when you say love and I say no, you say no. Now, but yeah, if you spend time with me, you know that I'm already talking about how I've grown and how I've grown and how I've grown. And so, if you better come to sell me something, if you better come to talk me to something that is going to inspire me, and the reason that I'm here is because I know you have a hunger to grow. If you never had a hunger to grow, I'll be out of here, yeah? Because that's my first need. I need to know that I'm somewhere where I'm growing and I'm somewhere where I can impart something that will make the people grow. And the other need that I have and why I work so much is a need for certainty. I need to know that, my family is going to be fine. Not just fine, but have the things that we've always dreamt of, i.e. private jet. Yeah, some of you, your level of certainty is a two-bedroom house with a computer over there. Think big, come on, guys. Think in terms of I want to sell 4 kinds of. I want to patent 4 kinds of ideas to a big corporation that are going to make me a multi-millionaire. Think that big. Don't think in terms of a 2-bedroom house and Anyway. Any other question? Our time is almost up. Actually, I'll take 2 more questions. If any question. Your body language is. No, I want to teach you something, especially those that are into inspirational speaking. Yeah? Anytime you are speaking to a crowd, especially that is not as big, stay there. Anytime you're speaking to a crowd and body language communicates more than the words. Eh? Now, I'm talking to you and the rest of you are looking at me. And where is she looking? On the side. She's subconsciously telling me either I've had a long day or I've reached my end of thinking what? So, any other two questions?
The person who would love to be an inspirational speaker, how does he begin? How does he stand in it?
Okay. Okay. There are three things. There are three things that have helped me develop into a life coach, or what you call. But I don't just speak. I work with I put you in a state to follow through. Number one, the thing that is going to help you most, yeah? The thing that is going to help you most is this thing called story. And by story I mean, what do you tell yourself? Do you say, you know what, I'm in Sina just to be here, or I just came to listen to you, or I just wake up in the morning and I have to have breakfast, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, and I have to do this, and I have to do this. Your story, if you're going to ever be inspiring, your story has to be empowering, first of all, to yourself. What you tell yourself. You know, I take this seriously. I remember I was in Gulu, and I was training a certain company that I will not mention because of what I'm about to tell you. Now all of you are anxious, like, oh, what am I? So I go to Gulu, and these guys are having, we have a prayer meeting before the prayer meeting before the, not prayer, like before the training. So we get to Gulu a day before, very nice trip, my first time to go to Gulu. And then when I was having the meeting, again, I meet this quite a number of times. These managers are seated there. Are you the trainer? I'm like, yes. Hey, but you're young. Hey, you guys, you're a young team. Now, subconscious, this is something that you have to find, this is something that you have to take in mind. Every time someone is checking you out, use that time to also check them out. Yeah? Like, you check, I'm standing here, and, for those of you that have seen me for the first time, probably you're checking me out, you're going like, who is this guy? But I'm also checking you out, yeah? Just that I keep quiet about it. I'm also checking out. So, we go, and the next day, we're supposed to begin the training at 8. These guys come in, and they come in at 8:30 and 9, and then they first go and have tea, and then they come, then it's it's 9 and it's 10 and it's 10:30. I'm standing there going like, oh man, what is this? So they come in, and we usually do music, so we put on the music and we first dance. Then I tell them, guys, I am not here because I'm young or I'm old. I'm here because I've earned the right to speak to you. I've had tremendous results elsewhere, and I would appreciate if you accord me the kind of respect that I need now. If you ever do it again and you come in late, that is totally unacceptable, and I won't accept you to do it again, because if I don't hold you to the higher standard, you're going to go out and you're going to beat crap, and your competitors are going to come and shake you out of the market. Do you listen to me? You do this the next time and I'm out of here. I'll pack my bags and I'll go. And the room went quiet. Like because you never saw it coming. But so after that, I tell them now, relax, and there's certain strategies that we use, and you get people back on track, and then you're able to inspire them. But your story has to be, if I didn't believe in what I was doing, you know what I would have said? And I said, you know what, this guy has paid me 3 million shillings to come here, do this thing, you know, they've fueled the car, they've booked me into a hotel, they've given me an entertainment allowance. So, I mean, they're the boss, and the boss is always right. No. The story that I have is that I'm here to inspire you to grow and ultimately contribute to the things that you want to contribute to. And if I'm going to do that, I have to hold you to the highest kind of standards. And you're not helping yourself when you come in 2.5 hours late and you just come and sit like you're having a holiday because you think I am young and I'm not going to take that. But I have to first tell this story to myself, but I have to also do it in a way that helps you so that I don't attack you or I don't bruise your ego, but I have to hold you to the highest kind of standards. But it starts with a story that you tell yourself. What story do you tell yourself? When people say, you know what, you don't want that thing, do you say, well, I was also just trying out. Or do you say, you know what, we sell certain products and there are certain clients that we go after. There's a client, I've been going after this client for 2 years because I felt their company was going down and I needed to help them. And I had to. It's because of the story that I already told myself and I knew I was selling them something of value that I kept on going after them. And finally this, I think this Saturday, my team and I will be going to Masaka to conduct a training for them. They've gathered the entire western and southwestern part of Uganda, all their staff in Masaka for us to go and train. But what is your story? Is it empowering to you? Does it motivate you? Does it inspire you? So what is your story? What do you tell yourself as a person? Because it has to be inspiring. So the parts of the story are, does it, first of all, empower you? Is it inspiring? Yeah? And can you stand by it? By standing by it, I mean, now, when I actually never lost my temper, but I had to hold them to the high standards. When I did that to that group, you're taking 2 risks there. You're saying, these guys might never hire me again. Probably. You've never seen anything like this. But you have to be ready to lose certain people. Not everyone is meant for you. Yeah, there's a CEO I fired because they were not hold. I'll tell them go and do this, and they don't do it. Go and do this, they don't do it. I tell them, you know what? I think we are better off living separate lives. I can't be your coach because you're not hungry enough to follow through. And I made a promise to myself from the beginning of this career: I will not work with a company, and I will not work with anyone that is not going to be hungry enough for the thing, either to get better in life. And if I start a coaching relationship with you and I come after you and I discover you're not hungry enough and you just like to feel sorry for yourself, I'll kick your butt. Not literally. Like fly and be free in the name of Jesus. And all the people say, Amen. Okay. Then the other thing that you need to have is this thing called states. By state I mean your internal representation, your physiology, you as a person. Yeah? You as a person. Because the stories you tell yourself, will portray you either as a confident person or someone that's not confident. When I called you earlier to come and speak to the people, what happened? He went like, okay, hi. Tell me your names. Some of you are already tickling at it. When I came in, when I'm coming to speak, what happens? I'll stand here and look at you straight in the face. You know what? I've already told myself a story that I'm here to serve you. And if I'm going to serve you, I'm not looking at myself. And because I'm not looking at myself, I'm entirely focused on serving you. then it puts the pressure off me, and I'm just looking at serving, then it puts me in a state where I'm your servant, and I have to do whatever it takes to make you better people. And that state will always, some of you have said, you learn something from me, you're inspired, but the reason you're inspired is not because I talk so much. There are people that could come and tell you the same things, but I've told myself a certain story that puts me in a place to serve you, and as long as I'm doing that, I'm not nervous at all. I'm not nervous. The first time I came, I had a little bit of nerve, but that's normal, but sooner or later you learn to break through from it. So you need to put yourself in a state, and state is determined by rituals. Determined by rituals. By rituals, I mean there are certain things that you have to do every day that put you in the right state, the state to follow through. Like, how many of you exercise every day? How many of you exercise every day? Good. You exercise? Okay, the guys who exercise every day, stand up. Stand up. Sit down, sit down. No. The guys who exercise, stay standing. Stay standing. Every day, every day. Okay. For those of you, apparently none of you has a weight problem, but people that exercise every day and they are sure about it, they look a certain way, and if you observe these people, they're always upbeat even when things are not fine. Now, I haven't spent enough time for me to know a lot about that, but I'm assuming you're that, yeah? So take your seats. So you have to take certain rituals. One of the rituals that I do, I'm not saying you do this, but one of the things that I do the first time when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is to spend some time with my Creator, whoever your Creator is, yeah? And take time and reflect on why you're here on earth, and how you envision the day to be. And every time I'm coming to speak, I take time. I take lots of time. I spoke to you before I spoke to you. Like, I've been speaking to you for a week. That means I've been taking time to meditate upon the things that I say. If you're going to be that cutting-edge inspirational speaker, you have to always find that time for reflection. Whatever reflection means to you, whether it's yoga, whether it's prayer, whether it's getting into exercise and things like that, then the other thing that will keep your state is to learn to chill with people that already challenge you. Now, some of you, watch this. You see what just happened? She was in a bad state. I challenged her. What has happened?
She's in a good state.
Now, this is especially true for the ladies. Ladies are very good at, and it's natural. They like affirming. You're going through something bad, and they say, "Oh, Bambi, sorry, don't worry, you'll be fine." And that's what ladies do. But it's very hard for someone that is at a point of weakness to be affirmed and at the same time break through. At the same time, if I'm working with you, yes, I'll empathize with you, but the second thing that I'll get to work on is I won't feel sorry for you. We have to work to get the results, and that's the only thing that you can do to break through. So find those friends that don't just, you're at a point of weakness and you say, "Oh, I came in late, I trained." They're like, "Oh, sorry, you came in 2 hours late, sorry." I tell you what, you need to find some people that will tell you, "You know what, I think you need to stop using that as an excuse and be the kind of person that you need to be, because you said you want to be an outstanding inspirational speaker." The inspirational speakers hold themselves to the highest standards. Or, maybe you wrote the experience, you want to to build a one-bedroom Zigo and put there a tenant that gives you 70,000 shillings. Come on, break out of that small thing. So get some people that challenge you to get into the right state. Then the other thing is the last one that you need to know is you need to get strategies. By strategies, that's a part that will get you to be whatever you want to be. If you want to be an inspirational speaker, how many inspirational speakers are you studying? I mean, do you go to YouTube and look out for these guys and watch them? Do you read their books? Do you see what they are doing? Do you know how to structure a speech? Do you know how to keep the crowd engaged? Who are you learning from? Do you have a coach? Do you have a coach, Bennett?
Yes.
Who is your coach?
Different.
Jeffrey? Good coach?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? So, do those things, but find things that have worked for them, because success always leaves what? A path, it leaves a track. So find out what has worked for them, and then get to imitate that. But you cannot just imitate things, you need to have your story that is empowering, and learn that, regardless of what your story is, not everyone began off with a bad start, but I think it's more empowering for someone that has started off by having a life of plenty and they keep having a life of plenty. You don't have to start from being broke, then you get rich. But the other thing about your story that I never talked about is always be authentic. Don't tell lies, yeah? Don't tell lies. Don't make your story look like Bill Gates' story. No, your story is very special, so be authentic. Be that kind of person. So if you're going to be in this career, you need those three things. You need to work on your story, you need to keep yourself in state and have right strategies. There are lots of books. Google is full of the things that you can read. And then the first strategy that you need to have before you even go to Google, get someone that can hold you accountable. Not necessarily me, there are some good people that I can recommend that you can approach. And they don't need to come to you, you go to them. My mentor today, he didn't come to me, I went to him, and he kept me away for 3 months, but I kept on going to him until he accepted to be my coach.